Good morning. Thank you for joining me in this morning mindfulness practice. I call it a practice because I believe that when you practice mindfulness, you become more aware of your surroundings, you become more aware of the power within you to create the changes that you want. Whatever you practice, you become. Notice professional ball players, professional golfers, professional speakers, anyone who practices their craft gets better at it. But if you have a poor practice, you don't really get better. You just keep practicing what you are in the habit of practicing. Most of my life, I practiced blaming and I became a victim. Most of my life, I was complaining because everybody around me was complaining. So to fit in, to be part of the crowd, to be part of the family, to be part of this world, it seemed most people were complaining about their lives, what was going wrong. So that was just a natural, normal thing to do, to complain about everything. Well, that certainly did not make anything better. What I didn't realize was that I was adding energy to negativity. And guess what? I found more negativity. You get what you focus on, you get what you expect. So then I learned from Bob Proctor there are laws of the universe, and the laws work for everyone, whether we know them or not, whether we understand them or not. Even if we don't realize that there are natural laws of the universe. If you're a lawbreaker, it doesn't matter. If you're ignorant, you still attract what you don't want. So I started to study the natural laws of the universe to figure out what I could do to become better, to attract better, to have a much better life. And I pay attention to the laws of the universe and I study them. The natural laws of the universe work for everyone all the time, whether you're aware of them or not. And we talk about the 7 natural laws of the universe. People who are old enough have maybe watched the movie The Secret or read the book The Secret. And it was Rhonda Byrne that wrote the book, and she actually attracted the speakers, the actors who performed in the movie. I remember Bob Proctor talking about getting a message one day, but he couldn't understand his mailbox on his phone was getting full. So he asked his secretary to check out the messages and to let him know what was important. And he said it sounded like there was a message from someone in Australia, but he couldn't understand what she was saying. Well, here it was Rhonda Byrne, the creator of the book The Secret, asking if Bob Proctor would be one of the actors in her movie. And it turned out he was going to be in, I believe it was Salt Lake City, where they were filming the movie. He had never been there before and he had never been there again. But when they were filming the movie, he was actually going to be staying in a hotel across the street from where they were filming. So it worked out that the one day that he was in town that was available to go to the movie set, had a script to follow, but he went off script. And because of what he said, they put that in the movie. And he talked about the law of attraction. He talked about the law of vibrational energy. He talked about how it affected his life. There are no coincidences. When you think about some of the things that have happened in your life, it's serendipitous how things occur where you decide that you want something. Maybe you take a different way to work. Maybe you go for a walk and you bump into someone that you never would have met had you been in a different state of mind or taken the same route to work that you always take. If you don't have the book The Secret, or if you've never watched the movie, I encourage you to look at that. People talk about it being woo-woo or magic, but it's not. It is the way the universe works. Of the 7 laws, the law of attraction is just part of one of the 7 natural laws of the universe, but it's really a secondary law. It's the law of vibrational energy, the law of vibration. And out of the 7 laws, it may be the most important in how our everyday lives play out. But the laws, all of the laws are in effect. Knowing them and how they work can make a significant difference in applying them to create the life that you truly desire. And there's no particular order to the laws, but since the law of attraction is discussed so much in The Secret, I'm going to start with that one. The law of vibration states that everything vibrates, nothing rests. Vibrations of the same frequency resonate with each other, so like attracts like energy. Everything is energy, including your thoughts. Consistently focusing on a particular thought or idea attracts its vibrational match. When you focus on what you want instead of what you don't want, you become a vibrational match actually attracted into your life. If you focus on a vision that you have, you start to attract all the people, all the resources, all the opportunities that will allow it to manifest into reality in your life. When you focus on what you really, really, really want, you start to get ideas. And as you take action, those ideas lead you to the next step. That's the law of cause and effect. For every action, there is an equal and opposite reaction. Every cause has an effect, and every effect has a cause. You can be at cause for what you want, and you will get the effect. All thought is creative, so be careful what you wish for because you will get it. So how to apply it? By consistently thinking and acting on what you want to be effective at getting it. So you might say, I really want to live in that house on the golf course. I would love to have that Porsche. I really want that particular job. But it's never going to happen. Oh, someday I'm going to do that. Well, of course it's not going to happen. and someday is so far in the future, it's never going to happen. When you really want something, you have to decide, you have to make a decision. That's what you're going after. And if you make a decision, that's what you're going after, you really have to plant the seed in your heart and focus on it, because you won't know how to get it. If it's a beautiful vision, if it's a dream goal, if it's something that you're in love with, that you really wish would happen, you have to get into that vibrational energy. You have to practice. What would it be like to have that? You have to become the person that has the goal. You have to do something to cause that to show up in your life. Wishing and hoping and dreaming are not strategies. You have to cause something to happen so that the universe reacts to give you what you want. So think about all the times that you're worrying about debt, you're focusing on lack and limitation and poverty and all the things that are going wrong. Your thoughts are going out into the universe and attracting more thoughts that are in harmony. You attract what you're in harmony with. Now, I don't want you to get scared that, oh my God, I'm always worrying and scared and doubtful and panicking and depressed, and I'm going to get more of that. Yes, but you can, when you understand the laws of the universe, you can use them to attract what you want. You can bring yourself up the emotional energy scale. And if you're in a state of worry and anxiety, you're not going to instantly jump to joy and bliss, but you can start to go up the ladder. You can start to look at maybe being angry. What are you going to do about it? Maybe being bored. Maybe starting to think about, what if I can do what I want, instead of being afraid of what people are going to say? Instead of looking at all the times that you failed, well, it's been written that Thomas Edison failed 10,000 times. He said, I didn't fail. I just figured out 10,000 ways that the incandescent light bulb didn't work. He didn't give up after 3 or 4 or 2,000 times. He kept going and going and going and going until he invented the light bulb. Edmund Hillary wanted so badly to be the first person to summit Mount Everest. He tried 3 times before he got to the top. He persisted. He decided what he wanted and he went after it. And he persisted no matter what his family and friends said. Everyone that tried died. Please don't go. We don't want you to die on the top of that mountain. Don't do it. He didn't listen to them. He followed his heart. He had this brilliant idea that he was going to be the first person to plant a flag at the top of Mount Everest and look out over the highest point on the earth and say, I did. He wanted it so badly that he focused on it. He thought about what it would be like to be at the top of Mount Everest, to be the first person to conquer that mountain. And then he did everything he could, and he failed twice. And the third attempt, he made it. He didn't let people that said it's impossible hold him back. He was the cause of his own effects. He did climb Mount Everest. There were lots of times that he was in the valley or around the dark side of the mountain, probably wondering why he was doing this. But his goal was so big. He had such a deep, burning passion that he didn't let the cold or people telling him it couldn't be done stop him. He just went after what he wanted until he got it. He took action. Now, there is the law of relativity. Nothing is what it is until you relate it to something. You could say, my problems are so big. My life sucks. My car is crap. I want something better. Well, when you look at people who are homeless, your life is pretty good. If you own your own home, or if you have an apartment, if you have a comfortable bed, you have running water, you have electricity, you flip a switch and the light turns on. You have a cell phone or a computer or some kind of device where you can hear me speaking. You might be seeing my slides. You may be listening to this right now as I'm delivering it, or listening to a recording sometime in the future. Think about how your life compares to your great-grandparents, to pioneers, to people who had to start with a piece of land where they had to build their house and break the land in order to make a crop. We can go to the grocery store and buy whatever we want. The law of relativity states that nothing is big or small unless we relate it to something else. We think that our problems are something that we can't overcome. Think about Thomas Edison and Edmund Hillary. Think about Steve Jobs inventing the cell phone. That was just an idea in his imagination. And now the world doesn't operate without cell phones and electricity and flight, and everything is getting better and better and better. But first you look at what you don't want, and then you decide what is the opposite. What do I really, really want? The law of relativity states that nothing is what it is until you relate it to something. Your point of view is determined by what you observe and what you're relating it to. The nature, value, or quality of something can only be measured in relation to another object. Practice relating your situation to something worse than yours, and you'll feel good about where you are. And then think about, Esther Hicks says, it is as easy to create a castle as it is to create a button. Well, if you can use your powerful mind to create what you want, and you focus on getting a parking spot in front of the doctor's office, you can focus on getting whatever you want, building your business the way you would love it to be. If you really, really, really want something, practice focusing on what it would be like to already have it and give thanks for it. The vibrational energy of gratitude hooks you up to infinite intelligence, to God, to the universal mind. When you focus on good, you see more good. It is what it is. We make it good or bad by our thinking. We make it big or small by relating it to something else. When you think about some of the big problems in the world, some of the mountains that people have overcome, the challenges that people have gone from homelessness to being multimillionaires, why can't you focus on what you want? There is the law of polarity. It states that everything has an opposite. You cannot have hot without cold, light without dark. Up is opposite of down, good or bad. In the absence of that which is not, that which you are is not. Polar opposites make existence possible. If what you are not didn't coexist with what you are, then what you are could not be. That means don't condemn or criticize what you are not or what you don't want. Look for the good in situations. Look for the good in people. What you focus on, you make bigger in your life. We wouldn't know cold unless there was the absence of heat. The law of polarity. So there's also the law of rhythm. Everything has a natural cycle. The tides go in and back out. Night follows day, and life regenerates itself. We all have good times and bad times, but nothing stays the same. Change is constant. If you look at the seasons that we're blessed to have in Canada, you can see that summer follows spring, but you know that fall is coming after summer and that winter will soon be here. But we don't stay depressed and worried all winter that it's 40 below, that it's going to be like that forever. We know that this too shall pass, and pretty soon the warm spring breezes come along and melt the snow, and the blooms start to come on the trees, the flowers start to bloom, we start to see life growing in nature. And we know that this too shall pass. And then we have the harvest. And then we know the dark and cold of winter is coming again. Understand that whatever challenge you have in your life, this too shall pass. Life has an ebb and a flow. So whenever everything is fantastic and wonderful and you've got the best day of your life, maybe it was your wedding day or the day your child was born or the day you passed an exam and got a master's degree. Well, this too shall pass. When you're on a downswing, know that things will get better. Think of the good times that are coming. And when you're thinking about your dream goal, your vision, there is a law of gestation that states that everything takes time to manifest. All things have a beginning and grow into form as more energy is added to it. Your thoughts are like seeds planted in the fertile garden of your mind, and they bloom into physical experience if we have nourished them. You know, you can plant a seed in sterile ground and not water it and nothing happens. You can plant seeds of corn and seeds of carrots, and you know that with sunshine and water and nourishment, they grow into carrots and corn. But if you don't spend time weeding out the thistles and the dandelions, and the weeds will overtake the garden. So you have to nourish your mind. You have to weed out the negative thoughts. You have to nourish the seeds of what you want. Stay focused on your goal, and it will become a reality when the time is right, with ideas, with nourishment, with focusing on what it would be like once your dream goal has manifested into reality. It means taking time to weed out the thoughts of, it's not going to happen. I don't know how it's going to happen. It's never happened before. It's going to take too long. That thought energy is never going to help grow your idea to manifest into reality. The law of transmutation states that energy moves in and out of physical form. Your thoughts are creative energy. The more you focus your thinking on what you want, the more you harness the creative power to move that energy into results in your life. The universe organizes itself according to your thoughts. Put your energy and your effort, your thoughts and actions into attracting what you want, and you will attract the physical manifestation of that energy. The 7 natural laws of the universe are working with you and for you. When things happen, don't think that things are happening against you. Think that everything is happening for your good, for the greater good. Take charge of your life by focusing on what you want, and by law, you will have it. What you focus on grows. What you give energy to becomes bigger in your life. I focus less and less on complaining and blaming and the negative news and what people say are limitations. And I focus more on where I'm going. What do I want? What does it look like? What would it be like if, not if I could have that, but when? So I want you to practice that. Think about what you would love to bring into your life. You could practice on something like a parking spot, a cup of coffee, a job. You could think about a particular car or a trip or a house. You could think of material objects. But what if you have a dream goal, something that you would believe is your purpose in life, that would change the world, that would make your life better, but it would make the lives of everyone around you better? What would that look like? What would that feel like? Write it down and spend more time focusing on what that is like. Get clear on what it looks like, what it feels like, what it would mean to you and your family. And starting to practice living your life according to the natural laws of the universe. What you put out, you get back. Your thoughts attract other thoughts. Your thoughts are invisible energy that are going out into the universe, and they're bringing back to you what you think about. Practice thinking about what it's like to have your goal already manifested. Energy moves in and out of physical form. Your thoughts create your life, make them beautiful. Practice being in the energetic flow of what you want. Create a wonderful day. Enjoy your weekend. Practice being in the spirit of your goal already manifested. Thank you for being here. I'll see you back here Monday morning at 7. Thank you.